Hey guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a recommendation video for Brother's Best Friend. I love this trope so much. I love it when they grew up together or the sister is off limits because it's like their best friend's sister. So it's obviously like about the heroine and it's her brother and it's her brother's best friend. I do have a couple sister's best friends I'll save till the end, but I'm very excited to get to it. I am also excited that this is a video in collaboration with Mackie from Mackie Really Reads. Make sure you check out Mackie. I love her channel so much. She has such amazing recommendations. She reads so much romance, including dark romance, contemporary, pretty much everything I love she loves too. So if you love my channel, you will love her. Please check her out. I will link her video down below. I'm super excited to see her recommendations as well, but I will go ahead and get started with my recs. In my new Kai sweatshirt that is from Savage Cats, which is Mystic Box, they were selling these Corrupt by Penelope Douglas sweatshirts. Obviously Kai's my favorite, so this is my first time getting to wear it because it's finally not over 80 degrees in Ohio. It's 75, and I was like, that is perfect sweatshirt weather for me, so I'm wearing my sweatshirt inside, but I will go ahead and get to my recommendations. The first one is by an author that if you've been following me on Instagram, you know I literally cannot do a single recommendation video or reel or post without talking about her, and that is Falling Embers by Catherine Cowles. The hero in here is her brother's best friend, so she's pretty much grown up around him. Hadley always followed along with her older brother in Calder, and that actually sparked her love for like adrenaline junkie things. So she actually has a really famous YouTube channel. It's not called YouTube, but she has a really popular channel where she does different stunts and adrenaline things, and that she got into it because of our hero. But the hero ended up having twins with someone, and he is no longer with that person, so he is a single dad, and Hadley has always been around. She is babysitting all the time, and they're finally giving their romance a shot. He's very concerned about her though because she does a lot of dangerous things, and her family's very judgmental because when she was younger her sister was kidnapped. The sister's book is not until book 5, which is coming out in October, and I'm dying for it, but Hadley and all the siblings really feel residual effects from their sister being kidnapped, and so she has to explore a lot with her family, especially her mother and how she's treated by them. But I love this so much. The daughters are super cute. I love Hadley and how close she was with the daughters. This series in general is amazing, but this one was so good. I definitely recommend because they've been in each other's lives for so long and definitely had to deal with the repercussions of the brother finding out, so very good romance. Then I have, literally the title is called My Best Friend's Sister by QB Tyler. This is a novella, super steamy. You get that when you get QB Tyler, and our heroine is new to New York City, and she is in law school, I believe, and so her brother tells his best friend, who's this like multi-billionaire business owner, make sure you watch out for my sister, which I love that trope so much where they're supposed to watch out for her. He doesn't, and so she's been living there for like 6 months, and she calls him one day, the best friend, and is like, I don't know where I am, like I'm in the middle of nowhere and I need a ride home. And so he is super mad at her. He's like, why would you do that? Why would you like put yourself in danger like that? And so he picks her up and they start bantering already, and she starts calling him more and talking to him, and she has a crush on someone in one of her classes, and she's not that experienced, so she asks her brother's best friend for help in that department, lessons in seduction, and the best friend is like, absolutely not, your brother would murder me if I did. But then he does, and like I said, QB Tyler writes a fantastic steamy time. This is a novella, so it's really short. It's kind of insta-love because it's not a lot of time that's going by when they're in love with each other, but I had so much fun reading this. I just love QB Tyler's writing. The beginning's a little clunky and awkward, but once you really get into the story, it gets so good. Like the dialogue was a little bit, but I really enjoyed this. I love QB Tyler though. It was a little taboo. She's like 22 and he's like 28, so not too much of an age gap, but definitely a brother's best friend. Then I have Serenaded Heartbreak, which is by Ella Fields. It's actually a love triangle, but the heroine has been in love with her brother's best friend for a very long time, and I don't remember, I think they like ended up hooking up and then he went on tour with the brother, and so the heroine is like heartbroken. He left her and he's not coming back, and so she moves on. She goes to college, meets a guy. She still has lingering feelings for her brother's best friend, but she's trying to move on. The guy she meets is super sweet, and then the guy that's her brother's best friend comes back into the picture, and so she is in a love triangle between her current boyfriend in college and the love of her life, basically, who she's loved since she was young. And so very angsty, definitely love triangle. I'm pretty sure there was cheating in here, so please be aware of that, but I really love this one. I love angst and I love a good love triangle, and it's hard though to forgive the hero, the one hero, because it is a love triangle, because he did just like leave and go on tour and just like left her behind, and so you want her to move on, but then you're like, but he was her first love and like you're conflicted with the heroine of who she should choose. So I really enjoy this one. Then I have the Varsity Dab Dilemma by Lex Martin. It's not necessarily like best friend, but the heroine and her brother aren't really close because their parents died, and so the brother ended up moving in with relatives and the heroine was not wanted, and so she kind of was like handed off into the foster care system and her brother got to live with their relatives, and so now they're in college and she is living across the street from her brother and she doesn't have like close feelings with him. One day though, the house has a baby dropped off on the porch. The note is not legible. All it says is this baby belongs to one of you, and so her brother lives there, and the other guy that lives there as well is a friend of her brother's on the football team because her brother's on the football team, and they kind of had a thing when they were freshmen and she was tutoring him, but then something happened and they just like never spoke again, and now I don't remember if they're like juniors or seniors, but it's been a couple years, and so she kind of has resentment towards him for what had happened to them previously, but she sees that there's this baby and these literal college boys have no idea what to do with the baby, and so she ends up helping and falling for the guy who is her brother's friend who lives there that she kind of had a past with. So she really only got involved with him with the baby because she was concerned it could be her niece or nephew. I don't remember what gender the baby was, but it could be her niece or nephew, and so she was like, I gotta help out, and grew closer to the brother's roommate. Obviously it's a romance. And this book was a lot of fun if you want a new adult one and with a football player hero, and she definitely had to confront her feelings about her brother and everything that happened to them in the past as well, and I just really enjoyed this one. The audiobook was really good. Another angsty one with cheating is The Truth About Heartbreak by B. Celeste. Our heroine is adopted into this family and falls for her adopted brother's best friend. Growing up, they were always around each other. She felt super close to him, but it's definitely a big age gap, and he is absolutely off limits and she is absolutely off limits, and so he starts dating someone else and kind of trying to force himself to be in this relationship to deny his feelings for his best friend's little sister, and so then we get them a little bit later in life. We flash forward a few years and it's them falling for each other, but he does try to hold on to his current girlfriend and does cheat on her, but it's super angsty. And I know the next book though I'm very terrified to read because it's way more taboo than book one, and I don't know if I would love it, but I had a lot of fun reading this one, especially because the heroine was adopted and it's her found family and she really does love them, and she's kind of supposed to see the hero as like a pseudo brother, but there's definitely stronger feelings there, and so she grew up really wanting to be with him. So I had a lot of fun reading this book. Then one I know that was in a recent recommendation video, but I really love it, and that is Fair Catch by Candy Steiner. This one, the only reason she's even like involved in this guy's life is because of her brother. So something happened with her brother and she has blamed the hero for it, and her brother though has continued to be best friends with him, and so she is a kicker for the football team. She makes it onto the college team and she's determined to start, and Zeke is also a freshman on the college team and he's determined to start as well, and she needs a roommate because her current roommate situation fell through and the coach was like, you gotta room with one of the guys. Zeke volunteers. He definitely harbors feelings for her and he doesn't want her to hate him, and so they're roommates, and he is definitely very, very protective and possessive of her. At one point she has a guy over and he literally like knocks down the door and is like, you're leaving now, and so she gets into kind of a funk and is not in a good headspace, and so he's trying to help her get through her mental block on football. And I love how they're teammates and roommates, and it is her brother's best friend. He has been in her life a very long time, and so they're kind of sneaking around behind her brother's back, and it's really good. Another new adult sports romance, brother's best friend, that I enjoyed. The last two are the sister's best friend, which are guys, and so that is Two Fights by Nikki Castle. This one, we saw these two. So actually like book one is best friend's best friend, and so our heroine is absolute best friends with the hero of this one, and so she ends up hooking up with his best friend who she supposedly hated, and so her sister and her best friend have a very close relationship, and the best friend is really, really protective of the sister. She is in a very emotionally abusive relationship, and so I do think it went on a little too long. We get a lot of the beginning of her in this relationship and understanding like why she's in it, what causes her to leave, and Jax is so protective of her and only wants the best for her and is there for her when she needs him, and so they do start up a romance and feel like they kind of have to hide it from the sister because it is the sister's best friend. But I really loved how he was just like obsessed with her, but like not in a weird way. He was so, like, he cared so much about her. At first it's because it's his best friend's sister, but it really turns into something more, and I just really love this. And he does go to an MMA gym, and so that's involved in this as well. He's not like a actual like MMA fighter like in book 1, but he still does belong to that gym, and I really like this one. And the last one's actually a reverse harem with a best friend's 3 brothers, and that is Malice, and this one is actually the bind up of all 3 of them. That's why it's called Malice Mafia. The first one book is Malice. I don't remember, the other ones are Wrath and Grudge. I've only read the first 2, but the heroine has been meeting with this girl like once a week for the past like 2 years. They're really close friends, but the girl is very mysterious. She doesn't ask her like any personal questions or anything. They're just really close to one another, and she always has a bodyguard with her who happens to be one of her brothers. And so something happens where the heroine realizes that her friend is kind of part of the mafia, and so her brother is like a huge mafia like ruler, king, whatever you call them, mafioso, and the other brothers are involved in the mafia, and they're all very different. So the one is just a very hardened, mean, scary mafia guy. The other one's kind of a psychopath who likes to murder people, and then the other one is more of like the quiet, domineering one, and she falls for all 3 of them. And the sister is angry. She is not happy that her best friend is being taken from her by her 3 brothers, and it's a lot of fun. I've only read the first 2, like I said, but I really enjoyed reading these, and I can't wait to read the 3rd one. This bind up is from Dark and Corky, and I love it so much. It's super pretty. I love the heroine down here and just like the design of everything, and I did get to meet Coralie June, so I did get this signed, and it was a lot of fun talking to her. And I just love reverse harems, and this one I really loved how different all the brothers were and how they also had to deal with their relationship with each other, especially in book 2. Like, some things are crumbling and the heroine's trying to like hold on for dear life to this dynamic they have going on, and I'm excited to see how the series finishes out. And those are some brother's best friend slash sister's best friend romances that I love. Let me know down below if you have any other favorites of these. I've done this before, so I can go ahead and link down below any other videos I've done. If you think I'm missing some, it might be in that video, and make sure you check out Mackie's video. I'm excited to get some recs from her, and I really appreciate her asking to collab with me and doing this video with me. That's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.